Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, welcome to the APS online teaching system. I am your biology teacher Sharjeel Ahmed Qureshi with the third lecture of our online biology class series. So without further ado, let's get started with it. By the way, I would like to mention that today's topic is really important in building basic concepts of biological organization. So do pay close attention to it. As always, we shall have a brief recap of previous lecture which I recommend you to watch before this one. So previously, we discussed about various career options a biology student may adopt after completion of his studies depending upon his interest. Then we looked at biology from Islamic point of view while discussing a few verses from the Holy Quran along with their translation and explanation. Finally, we read about some of the prominent Muslim scholars and their work in science, especially biology. So today's lecture discusses biological organization and its levels. So what does the term levels of biological organization means? This term defines how an organism is formed from the very basic level, and once formed, his interactions and existence within the overall living system. Just like a building, we have bricks at the very basic level that are laid upon one another to form a complete building. That building is then incorporated with other systems like electrical wiring, plumbing, etc. to obtain a fully functional structure. Same is the case here with every living being. We are made up of simple building blocks just like bricks in a building. So let's have a detailed look into all the levels of organization an organism has. So the fundamental and smallest level of organization is subatomic and atomic level. Now students, everything or matter is made up of atoms. Whether living or non-living, atoms are the basic building blocks. A specific type of atom defines an element. What I mean to say is that an element is a type of matter that contains all the atoms of the same type. For example, gold. Pure gold will always have the same atoms, which is the atom of the gold, and thus we can say that it is in the elemental form. Thus, matter is made up of such elements. Latest advancements in physics and chemistry have shown us that atoms are further made up of smaller particles called subatomic particles. Most common being electron, neutron and proton, as you can see in the picture here. Electrons depicted in the blue revolve around the nucleus containing proton and neutrons depicted by green and red. By the way, we have even discovered particles even smaller than electrons, neutrons and protons like quarks, gravitons, etc. But that's a separate debate. So now we know that atoms make up all the matter, whether living or non-living. However, there is a catch. We have by far discovered 118 elements, or simply the atom types. But out of those 118, only 16 are involved in the formation and maintenance of living organisms, and thus they are called bioelements. Out of these 16, we have 6 bioelements that make up 99% of every living being. These 6 include oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium and phosphorus. While rest 1% part of every living organism is made up of remaining 10 bioelements, also known as trace elements, which include potassium, sulfur, chlorine, sodium, magnesium, iron, copper, manganese, zinc and iodine. By the way, I have just mentioned their symbols rather than full names due to lack of space. Moving along, we have the second level of organization called molecular level. So beta, we have our first question of today's lecture. So what are molecules? Molecules are simply the combination of different atoms where strong bonds like covalent or ionic bond to make a different substance. For example, water. If we combine two atoms of hydrogen, which is a gas by the way, with one atom of oxygen, which is also a gas, we get one molecule of water, which is liquid and has its own properties different from both hydrogen and oxygen. So different atoms combine to make molecules within a biological system. Such molecules are called biomolecules, or simply the molecules that make up a living organism. Now, biomolecules are of two types. First type comprises of simple molecules and are known as micromolecules. These molecules, as mentioned earlier, are simpler and have low molecular weight, meaning that they have less atoms per molecule, so they have less molecular weight, as in case of water. You can see that only 3 atoms are involved in making one molecule of water. The second type, on the other hand, is called the macromolecules, which have hundreds or even thousands of atoms within one single molecule. For example, this one. As you can see in the diagram, large number of atoms are combining to make only one molecule. By the way, this is a molecule of aspartic acid, which is an amino acid. Amino acids further combine together to make proteins, which are what? Macromolecules. So you can have a clear idea of how complex and large macromolecules are. Okay, so the next level of organization is organelles and cellular level. You must listen to it very carefully, beta. So the biomolecules, including micro as well as macromolecules, especially proteins, combine in a specific manner to make organelles. So what are organelles? Organelles are specialized structures within a cell that carry out a specific task. As I mentioned in the first lecture, that a cell carries out all the basic functions of life in such a way that each type of organelle is assigned a specific function. For example, mitochondria, which is involved in energy production in cellular respiration. So all these different organelles combine together to make a complete functional cell. As you can see in the picture, that our cell has all the organelles involved in various tasks, like Golgi apparatus, which is involved in the transport of substances in and out of the cell, ribosomes, which you can see as these small grainy spots besides the nucleus, which are involved in the protein synthesis, and so on. So the next level of organization is the tissue level. So now that we have already reached up to the cellular level, I would like to tell you that unicellular organisms have no further organization above cellular level. Why? Because they are single cells and they don't have to combine anymore. But multicellular organisms go on to the next organization level called tissue level. Again, a question arises that what are tissues? I have already told you this in the previous lecture. A tissue is simply a combination of similar cells that work in coordination towards a common task. For example, epithelial tissues. These tissues are made up of cells called epithelial cells, and it is involved in lining and protection of body surfaces, just like skin. And another example could be hepatocytes, the cells of the liver. They combine to form liver tissues which detoxifies our blood. By the way, to detoxify means to remove harmful substances from our blood. Moving along, we have our next organization level called organ or organ systems level. So we have two varying concepts here, beta, an organ and an organ system. Let's look at them one by one. An organ is formed when a number of tissues having a related function combine together. For example, our heart. All the heart cells combine to make heart tissues, while all related heart tissues combine together to make a complete organ, which is the heart. Now the organ system is formed when all the related organs combine together to make a system that carries out a specific task. For instance, nervous system, vascular system, and so on. Okay, so let's have a look at this figure of our urinary system. Kidneys are an organ made up of various types of cells, all involved in the filtration of our blood. Now kidneys, along with other organs like ureter, urinary bladder, and so on, combine to make complete urinary system where all contributing organs share a common task, which is the filtration. I hope you got the concept here. Next up, we have the individual level, which is the level at which a complete organism is formed. Now we have already discussed that each organ system carries out a specific task. So when a number of organ systems having their unique functionality combine and work together in harmony, they make a complete individual or simply an organism. For example, our handsome friend here having all his organ systems working to keep him alive and carry all the functionalities of life like breathing via his respiratory system, circulation via his vascular system, coordination and movement via his nervous system, and so on. Okay beta, now we move on to the next level called the population level, which is simply the existence of the same organisms together or simply the same species. For example, us, the humans. As we live with other human beings, so we have a population and it would be referred as the human population. The next level is called community level, where the different populations live together in a certain area in harmony. For example, a forest, where different animal populations like monkeys, lions, deer, snake, etc. are living together in the same area, thus making a community. In case of us, the humans, we have a number of different populations living amongst us as well, like cats and dogs, even mice and birds to name a few. By the way, beta, I know this mouse look as big as the cat itself, but it's just for the example's sake, not the size reference. Anyways, the last level of organization is called the biosphere level, which is the part of the earth inhabited by living organisms. You might have heard this suffix sphere before, like atmosphere, stratosphere, and so on. So biosphere means area of life or simply the area within which living beings can live and thrive. It may range from the deepest point on earth, which is Mariana Trench by the way in Pacific Ocean, till the skies where birds can fly. So that's all for the third lecture today. I hope you understood this lecture, though it was a bit complicated. Again, we have the assignment here which you will have to attempt and send to me via the portal. At the end, I would say that always stay curious and learn by heart. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.